yes, men want relationships, and we can love a woman despite her having trash box. So that's number one. Number two, I also want to give her kudos because, right, she's doing him a favor. I think Delvin mentioned it earlier. Like, she's not wife material. Just because you get married doesn't mean that you're a wife, right? So yeah, she's been married 3 times, and kudos to her to having the self awareness to say, you know what, I'm not good at this. I don't want to be responsible for somebody else. I don't have the emotional bandwidth to be able to maintain a long-term relationship when I have a certain level of commitment and a certain level of consideration that I have to have with another human being beyond my own self-awareness. Kudos to her for being able to recognize that within herself. And then that tells me she really loves him. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you can love a person enough to be like, you know what, nah, I know you want this thing. I know you think you want this, but nah, let's just continue to do this thing right here because it's the best that I got. So I think she is doing him, doing him a favor, right? And I agree with y'all, ladies. Surprisingly, it's not about the box because we know it's trash, right? I do think there's a lot of things that women can learn from this because some of y'all are beyond y'all relationship zone. And so continue to try to force it is just causing relationships that are inevitably going to fail, right? So maybe some of y'all have to carve out whatever existence you can within a construct of a relationship to feel like you can live to your dying days and still have somebody by your side. So I think there's women who can learn from Hallie's hesitance here. But something tells me, though, because she hasn't cut it off completely, that there's a part of her that probably still wants it. Because, shorty, why are you still keeping him in the wind? From what I understand, it's still floating out there according to his own words. So it's not like she shot him down like, no, we're not going to do this. She's still considering it, right? Right. So that's where the disconnect happens because she might fall for it. Because I think inevitably she's a romantic person, right? Maybe. You get what I'm saying? And maybe you guys are right. Maybe it's the money thing, but I mean, she'll get more roles, right? I mean, how much money does Halle really have right now? Do we even know what he does? We automatically assume he's Stedman. But the point that I'm trying to make is, and this is the only thing I'll say to Halle if you're watching, if you want to marry this man, marry this man. I get that you don't trust yourself, and you probably have good reason to not trust yourself. But there's a sneaking feeling that I do think she wants to marry him, and I do think women who had a track record of having bad relationships don't trust themselves. This guy has been there with you through thick and thin. Maybe, yes, she has hurt. She hasn't had accountability. Maybe she's always pointing the finger. But if she can get the proper healing, and if she really wants to be with that man, girl, go ahead and do that. But just don't do it not because you don't want to, but because, oh my God, I'm scared I'm going to fuck this up again. You probably will, but you know what? That's life. Take that leap, girl, if you really want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So as toxic as I can be, I'm still a romantic on the inside because I can see them really wanting to that for each other. And he got to be a great man to want that with her. And she got to be willing to let him do that. But she got to accept it within herself first. So Halle, if you're watching, girl, that's a freebie. You know what I'm saying? Don't say all love black women. Don't miss me with that. You know what I'm saying? That was my gift to all y'all single hoes out there. I mean, all y'all single.
Tia, please come
We
with
just
us.
supported
Please.
Black love and we didn't get any credit.
Please.
Somehow Halle became the bad guy in the equation of her not wanting to be married. I'm going to take something that you said and flip it just a little bit. Just because he might be a decent boyfriend does not make a husband of him. It is possible that she is very aware of this. And trash or not, her box was trash when he got with her. Her box was trash after the first time he did it. Her box was trash the first, second, and third year he decided to stay with it. So clearly for neither of them, that's not a primary factor while he's still trying to
That's not
marry
true.
the
That's not
trash
true.
box. He's trying to marry the trash box. The trash box is what said no. And I think that we're missing the fact that she still has the power. She's had one man who had a severe sex addiction and cheated all over the world and around the globe on her. She has 2 other husbands that were simp enough to go and take alimony and child support from her. If I
Simple
was
enough.
her, I would take my losses. First of all, she damn near ain't got enough money to keep paying these motherfuckers, right? Like you 0 for 3 right now, Halle. It's best for you to sit on your hands and your bank book and have your little boyfriend, significantly younger if you're lucky, and live out the rest of your days single and keeping your money to yourself and to your pockets. Give your kids something when you go on up yonder. Because all these people are going to do is monopolize and monetize and make money off of you to the extent to where they're going to come after you. And she knows that by experience. She's not messing with y'all knickknacks. She's messing with herself. And I respect that. She's standing on her own 2 feet and saying, if you want to be here, these are the criteria in which you're welcome. Other than that, scurry along. And I'm with that.
No, okay, first of all, let me correct the record here. From Halle's own admission, she had her box got worse moment. She talked about a time when she was with Van Hunt and it was somewhere she thought they had some. She had to call the doctor, and this nigga stuck with her through that shit. Okay, so yes, maybe early on it was like, it's just trash box. But for him to be there for 5 years, he's probably went through Perry and whatever's after Perry and Barry and Mary menopause at this point, right? So it's like, come on, man, that brother stuck with her. So no, I'm sorry, it got worse, and he still wants to marry her, right? And I get that she probably loves him so much. So I don't get how you thought what I was saying was negative. I'm saying I acknowledge the fact that she loves him so much that she thinks he deserves better than her trash box and the rest of her relationship deficiencies, right? So I'm saying, like, that's okay for a person to recognize he's loving her. So the fact that I gave him some love for showing up as a man the way that some of y'all women claim y'all want men to show up, all of a sudden that's me diminishing her from acknowledging the very truth that she is saying herself by not wanting to marry him. Come on, man. I don't see how we turn these things into these things.
So I'm just going to say this. First of
We're
all,
so far gone.
I noticed
It's
that you have this art of changing something that's exceptionally, because we don't know that's exactly what she meant. And as a matter of fact, perhaps she telling him, hey, I don't want to get married, and I'm going to free you back into the wild so that you can find the person who wants to be married, because that person is not me. And that's some things that we tell that we want men to do too. Like if you know you're not going to marry this person and that's their expectation and that's what they want, then perhaps you should let them go back into the wild so that they can find their person and be equally yoked in that sense. And so for you to say that she loved him enough not to trap him with a trash box, and
sacrifice.
and I'm just like, what? But okay, I won't get
Okay.
distracted by the box. So with that being said, I'm just going to say this. I think that he should find the person for him. If he wants marriage, he should find somebody who wants marriage. I don't think he should try to change her mind, because if she's saying that's not what she wants, and if she is holding it to him, like, holding it in the wind, like maybe or could have, is no different than the men who do it to women who say, oh, we're going to have a long engagement, and then they never get married. Or they say, oh, one day I want to get married, but they know that it's not to that person. And then it's when you need to let that person go, because at this point, you're literally keeping this person as a placeholder because it's convenient to you. And so I think she is doing him a favor, not for the reason that you think is for, but because she realized that he's becoming a placeholder for whatever the situation may be, and he needs to go find his person.
I get that Halle's beautiful, right? And she's a superstar. All that is great. But if you have trash box and you want somebody to like, or even a bad attitude or a bad personality, sometimes you got to pay to overcome that. We say that to men all the time, right? If you have enough resources and you want to be with a certain type of chick, it could be because she's attractive or younger or whatever, we expect them to show up financially a certain type of way. Why would that be any different? Just because she's Halle? Right? I get that y'all believe that, but I think any guy, right? Maybe that's why we believe his motives is financial. But yeah, bitch, you gotta pay. Like, you can't be like, Halle, cool. Okay, what other benefits am I getting? Especially if the box is trash. Like, that's a central part. Like, niggas will put up with a bad attitude before they put up with bad box. In fact, there is an urban legend that crazy box equals great box. Like a chick who's crazy, like, oh my God, she's crazy, she has great box. So you got a bad attitude and bad box? Then you better have some money. You gotta pay like Oprah way. What the fuck are we talking about? Just because she's Halle doesn't mean she gotta come up them coins. Why do you think the niggas before her who's getting alimony, I guess you want to complain about it, but nah, sis, yeah. You want a little cute little white boy you thought was all that in the bag of chips. Well, guess what? He stuck you up for your paper. You had to pay like Oprah way.